and welcome back to Stitchcraft. My name is Mary, the Stitchcraft Queen, and today is July 1st, and yes, it is a Tuesday. It's not a Wednesday. Today I actually only had one client that had all their vaccine info in the computer, and that was a little chihuahua who's getting a bath. So it took me literally 10 minutes, start to finish, do bathe, blow dry, and do the nails, which is what they signed up for. So easy peasy, and then I got 20 bucks out of it. So yeah, there was that. But I got to come home early. I did a little bit of like cleaning and organizing, obviously, at my salon. But yeah, that was that. Easy peasy. And so because tomorrow, well, I wasn't originally going to film this week, but tomorrow, and that's because tomorrow I cannot talk. I am sorry. Pregnancy brain. But anyways, tomorrow on Wednesday, we're going to go get our ultrasound. We will be, well, I'm at 21 weeks pregnant now. Technically, you're supposed to get it before or when you're week, like around 20. But my doctor said this was fine. This was like the one closest that they had available. As the healthcare provider is very popular that we choose around here. And so they fill it pretty quick. But I'm very excited to go see baby Celeste again. Make sure she's still doing okay. But yeah, we'll get more into that later. So you'll be getting 2 videos today if you're watching this live, which hardly anybody does. But that's because I filmed a video last week, but my phone decided that everything that was in the trash, it wasn't actually going to delete for 30 days. So my phone was like filled to the brim on storage, and I didn't know this. So it cut halfway through recording, and I deleted everything and then finished the recording. But I was like, I got to figure out how to edit these 2 together. Well, I figured it out. I got a little app for that. And then I was just lazy and I didn't do it all week. So that will go up today first, and then this video will go up. So it'll be 2 in 1. But I was like, I don't want to have to like just trash all that. Okay, let's get into my works in progress though. So first of all, last week, but anyway, sorry, my husband's texting me about, this is like the time of year where they, instead of doing it at the beginning of the year, like pay raises and all that, they decided to do it in July, I guess, June, July time, which to me is very strange. I'm like, that is a very strange time for, redoing pay. But they're apparently last year they redid the whole pay, how they did it as a company, benefited us. This year it would benefit us again to stay the same. But it looks like he just texted and they're changing it again. So that's pretty fun. Okay, anyways. WIPs, work in progress. Last week I had one project on DPNs, one project, if I remember right, one on DPNs, yeah, and that was Cece's hat, and then I hadn't started my hat, and then my husband's I had just gotten onto the circulars, so, and I'm counting all this as one project, but here is Cece's hat, little Celeste. I had just done, it looks like I had done a few decreases on hers last time. So I just had to finish. So you can see I had done a few decreases already right there. And then I just finished it off. Haven't woven in the end. But look at how cute and tiny. Her little hat is all done. We did the smallest size, which is a baby size, not a newborn size, of the Musselburgh pattern. And this little pop will go away once I weave in this end and we block it. When she's a newborn though, we can flip this up and she can have a cute little brim on her head and it will be a little more snug. But it will also fit her till she is, she outgrows this, which hopefully won't be till about 6 months, because she's being born in November, so it's gonna be cold for a little while. We want something cute and warm to go on her head. Then my husband's, which I had just put onto circulars last time, and his is the biggest size because my husband has a large head. And that's not anything bad against him. It's just, he just has a large head. So a lot of normal like store-bought beanies don't fit him, or he has to like cut the lining out if there's a lining so that it stretches. So we're hoping that this large size fits him. I did measure, but I'm still worried that it's because it looks really big. But this is his. And so each row has about 40 more stitches than my size does. So that's one thing I am kind of worried about is the yarn. But this is where I was the last time. I did almost 3 full inches. I think it was 27 rows. So I am 3 rows away from being at 3 inches. But close enough. And then there's I mark every 10 rows. This one's hard to see because it's orange, but it's up there. But that's how I keep track. I'm going to be doing just the exact same as I do with my sized hats, the ones that I made for me and my family for Christmas last year. And by family, I mean my mom, dad, brother, and sister. My husband didn't want one quite yet, but now he does, so we're making it one. But we're gonna do 6 inches in this same color, and then we will swap over to the same red on little Cece's hat, do 6 inches about, and then go back to the 6 inches and then close it up. With his though, I am weighing the yarn pretty consistently because I'm worried of running out, because the last couple times I've done Musselburgh hats, it's been pretty close on the main skein, and that's in a smaller size. So far though, we are at, I just weighed, we're at 83 ounces out of 100. So either it was a very big skein and I forgot to weigh it when I started, or it's not taking up as much yarn as expected, which is good. Yeah, this is the Flaming Hot Cheetos color. I don't know if she makes it anymore because I got it literally, I think it was 2 years ago. Like, I got it so long ago. And I was originally going to make socks with it, and then I realized I don't really like making socks. Not my thing. I'll still do it on occasion, but not my most favorite thing. So we decided to get another skein and make matching hats for me and my can't talk. To make matching hats for me and my husband. And then we found out, 5 months ago, about 5 months ago now, that we were pregnant. So we made little Cece one. And that's what made me start them. Okay, and then mine. So here's my hat that I started. And I am officially off DPNs finally again. So yay. 3 hats that need one set of DPNs is a lot. Yeah, this is mine. I just finished the increases and, what was I going to say? Just finished the increases and got it onto my circular needles. The circular needles look funny because mine have a bend in them. ChiaoGoo makes those, and I specifically got these because all of my needles, when I would make Musselburgh hats, the little wire that connects the cord, I guess is what we officially call it, that connects to the needle, they would all break, and so, or they would start to wear out. And so I was tired of buying these tiny little flimsy cords. So we found these ones that have that bend already in them, and that has helped the cord, but then it makes it look kind of funny when it's just hanging out there. But yeah, those are the Musselburgh hats that I actually had progress on. And this one wasn't even started last time, so it is all officially ready and done. I'm going to move this buddy to be right here, and then I'll move the other ones. Well, Celeste's hat doesn't need it because hers is done. But yeah, so those are the hats. I am kind of well, if you haven't been paying attention, I've been pretty lax on knitting recently. And there's my girls right there trying to kill each other. I just didn't feel the want or need to do it for a while. I was super sick with morning sickness from pregnancy, and so that kind of took knitting out of the picture for a while, just because I was like so souped up on drugs, I couldn't do anything, even knitting. I even tried crocheting just because I learned crochet first and it's like second nature to me, but that even was too much for my, drugged out brain. So I stopped knitting for a good 2 months, and then I kind of picked it back up. But then I stopped again, and it was just because life got busy. There's so much that needs to be done for a baby to come. Technically, you don't actually need that much for a baby to come, but we want to be nice and prepared for little Celeste. And so we're doing a lot to get our house ready. You can see I finally hung up, my hand. Right here we have our foam wall up with some photos hung up. And we've been getting like pictures hung on the wall. We moved a bunch of furniture around. And, we've been working a lot more so that we could get some fun things swapped out. You'll see our mattress, our old mattress there. We finally swapped that one out for a king size. It was time. We've been living on a queen size mattress since we got married, and that's all that really we needed, but we figured, hey, we're gonna have a kid that we might want to lay her on the bed, not like obviously supervised, but there might be an occasion where, hey, we want to lay her on the bed instead of bringing her bassinet over. Or our girls love to, they love to cuddle and lay out on the bed and play on the bed. We don't really have a problem with that because they're very clean dogs. But we figured it was time for me, especially going to have my postpartum phase, where I'll kind of need space and need, a good place to recover. We figured that would be good. And my husband has been so nice. I have had, stacking up pregnancy pillows to make myself comfortable when sleeping. And he's been like, not really on the side of the bed, but he's had a lot less space. And so he has loved the extra, foot he gets to just spread out and have a good night's sleep again. So that's been nice for us. We also ordered a couch because we haven't had an actual couch. We got, so this is like story. So we ordered our bed frame when we moved into our first apartment because when we got married, we didn't have a bed frame. And it came, but at that apartment, nothing was delivered to doors except for like very, very few packages. It was all delivered to a like locker room or whatever, like a lot of apartments do. And that just makes it easier for the mailmen. So, we always love making it a little bit easier for them because I have a tough job. But it came in 2 packages. One was the wood beams, and then the other one was the parts to put the wood beams together. And the box that held the wood beams got stolen. Not the wood, but the beams. And all it is it's like these metal pieces that like keep the wood in place, and then what are they, ratchet straps that like keep the bottom legs together so it's not sliding everywhere while you're sleeping. Very easy bed setup. We love it because it's easy to expand, and when we have moved, super easy to take apart, fit in a car and move. So we love our bed. But we contacted our apartment, and they were like, it's not our problem. We're like, well, you have security cameras. Can you like check the footage and see who stole it? And then like we can file a police report or deal with it or something. They would not. So we contacted the company, but instead of sending us just a new box of parts, they sent us an entire new bed with the bed frame, which we did not originally order. So we got a free headboard. So we got a free headboard along with a whole nother bed. So we had 3 more wood slats and all the parts for it. So we kept the bed frame because we're like, well, that's like $800 worth of stuff that we just got for free. And figured we'll either turn it into something later down the line, or eventually we'll need a bed for either a guest or like a kid down the line. So we'll just keep them. It's kind of a pain to move, but we'll do it. And then we moved into our second apartment, which had enough room for a couch, which we could not afford. So we decided, let's put these bed frame pieces together. We got some brackets from the Home Depot, and we screwed them together in like an L shape like this. And then we ordered some, what were they? I can't think of the word. We ordered some cushions, some cheap cushions off the internet. And that has been our couch ever since. And it worked really, really well. But again, I'm going to be postpartum. Both me, well, I have 8 weeks maternity leave. My husband has 4 weeks paternity leave. Well, mine's unpaid. My husband's is paid, thank goodness. He has a really good company that he works for. But I'm going to want somewhere extremely comfortable to sit, and that couch ain't going to cut it. And then on top of that, we're going to have so many guests over because we have a lot of family over here that will want to come visit and see cute little Cece when she's born. So we finally ordered a couch this weekend with the help of my mother. I guess I should preface too, I was not going to get an IKEA couch or an RC Willey couch or an Ashley Home Furniture couch. No shade to you if that's your sofa of choice. But I was raised at a higher standard. I blame my mother and my Nana for this. My Nana got a furniture store that was like kind of her lifelong dream was to design homes and like help people pick out couches. So she and I think it was a friend of hers, if I remember right, they started what they called Noble House Furniture and Design many years ago when I was tiny. I remember like from the time I was like 4 years old going to help her out by, you know, putting stickers on the bags when people would buy accessories or tying ribbon on tags so that things were ready to be tagged and helping out with little things like that. So, but then once my Nana and Grandpa, well, they eventually just took over. They bought their friend out of the share because she didn't want to be part of it anymore or whatever. And eventually my mom ended up taking over as the oldest once, you know, my Nana and Grandpa were getting a little too old to like want to run the whole show by themselves. So yeah, now it's my mom's, and everyone in my family has worked there, me, my brother, and my sister. And yeah, so I'm kind of a furniture snob. I will get shelves and stuff from IKEA. I think box goods are fine, but don't touch my sofas. Those need to be comfortable and they need to be nice. So anyways, we ordered that through my mom. Very excited for when that comes in, you know, 3 months, because now it takes 3 months. Used to be 6 to 8 weeks, now it's 8 to 10 weeks. So, but we're not gonna complain. What else did we do this week? There was a lot we did. This week was kind of get the rest of the things ready. There were like the little mini tasks that like have kind of just been standing around, like getting our, not the foam, but the felt on the wall. We want to get more for our office, which probably next month we'll do, just because we realized last night we started playing Valorant again, me and my husband, which fantastic game and we love. He wants to start streaming it together, which I think would be so fun because we just have a fun time and we're pretty bad at it. We win a lot though. We win a lot of games, but we're not the best, especially me, but it is a lot of fun. But we are very loud when we play games, and the office is right next to the baby's room. So the baby's room soundproofed. We have all the foam, not the foam, the felt up and everything in those cute rainbow tiles. But I think we need something for the office space. So we will be ordering something probably next month for that. But that's kind of like one of the last things around the house we really need to do. Crib is the last piece of furniture to come in the mail and be delivered. That should be shipping this week, if not next week. So that will be here soon. And other than that, baby's room is all ready, except for I do want this really cool sign, that I will be eventually getting to hang above her crib, but that will probably again be in next month or in August. I say next month, I mean July. So the felt will probably be later this month. Next month will probably be in August, baby sign. I'm someone that likes to be ready very early for things. I I'd rather get everything set up and ready now and be able to like then just save the rest of the few months, which is awesome. But I'd rather be ready now when I am feeling good and can like still move around than have to be scrambling when I'm in nesting phase and only have like 2 weeks to do everything. And you know, I'd rather just get the big stuff done and out of the way. So that's why we're kind of doing this now. The other thing is we ordered frames finally. We have these photos from, I always call them Wooster Scott because it looked like how he signed his name, the artist. It was a W and then 2 O's, but the 2 O's it looked like a W because he didn't always connect them. This was an artist my mom and dad really liked when they were first married. And for like anniversary gifts, one of them was for my mom's birthday. He would get her these prints from Wooster Scott. And there was one that hung in the bathroom growing up. So I remember, this is going to be kind of weird, but sitting on the toilet and just staring at it, like when I was being potty trained and whatever. So like that one's vividly in my mind. There was one in my parents' bathroom, one in the hallway. So anyways, we've had 4 of these prints, and my mom and dad, when they moved houses, which was right when me and my husband, it was right before we got married, they were like, well, we love these, but there's not really a spot for them in this new house. Especially like kind of theme wise. My mom wanted it to be very like design oriented, because of her business, which is furniture sales. So she wanted it to look very put together and beautiful, which it does. But these photos did not have, or these prints did not have kind of a place. So instead of just putting them in storage, they asked if I wanted them and we said yes. We didn't have a place to put them, but I knew I wanted them for my kid. So finally we have ordered frames because I did not like the frames my parents had for them. Did not match my vibes at all. My dad was kind of offended when I threw them out, but my mom was like, you do whatever, I don't care. But we finally ordered frames. Those will be going in the guest bathroom, which will be Cece's bathroom when she's older. So that's kind of like one of the last things that needs to be hung on the wall, along with we ordered, I want to have like a year's long calendar down, and we have kind of a little like locker space with a big empty wall. So I've wanted to put like a big calendar up there, just so, especially like I have never been a person for having a calendar. My parents and family know this. But now that I have like 80 doctor's appointments and now that I have to also keep track of my husband's like schedule, and next I'll have to keep track of little Celeste's schedule. I have been using the calendar on my phone, but I don't like how it's set up. I want to just see it visually, and so we're getting a year-long calendar. My husband's like, why do you need a year-long? I'm like, do you know how far in advance you schedule doctor's appointments and other appointments like that? It's very far. So yeah, we are going to have a year's calendar, which I'm excited about. So that should be coming today, actually. Thank you, Amazon. And it's a whiteboard, so we can just erase it. There were ones that were like big paper ones for a lot less. But I was like, you could spill on them, especially if they're on a wall for a year. Like you can't erase and go back, and like all the dates were like how like normal calendars are, or normal year-long calendars where they're like assigned, the numbers assigned to a day of the week, and so if it goes to the next year you can't use it again. So yeah, that's one of the other things I wanted. But yeah, this week was kind of and through the end of this week is kind of to get everything, all those little remaining items done. And then we're going to start to declutter and put some things away. Which will happen probably like 8 times, because as anyone who lives in a house knows, oh, there's my Joes again. But as anyone knows and has a house, things just get put out of place all the time. But yeah, we need that. And then we have to, one of the next things is baby proofing, but I hear you technically don't have to baby proof until your kid is about to start crawling. So we might leave some of that for a little bit, but we will see. Yeah, that's kind of what's on the docket for the next little bit and what we did this week. Things that we watched. Let's see. I'll do media first, then I'll go over pregnancy stuff. I continued watching Unexpected. We were at the Tell All, which I love the Tell Alls. Like, I used to hate them, but I love how like much drama is in them now. Really fun. What else did we watch? Oh, last night we started watching a QAnon doc of like finding out who QAnon is. Really weird. Like, people just get so absorbed in the weirdest things online. What else did we watch? We did just a lot of like watching random videos. We started a couple things. We're trying to find a new show, but my husband didn't really click with them, so we're probably not going to continue those. One of them, which is one of my favorite, like, stupid trash TV shows, is The Ultimatum. I watched season 1 when it first came out, and that was when me and my husband were still dating, actually. And we were kind of at that point where I was like, okay, we both know we want to get married, let's go. And my husband was like the one that was kind of holding back. He's like, I want to make sure I have a job. I don't want to get married in college. I'm like, well, you're going to be graduated by the time we're married, bud. So let's get on with it. But no, it was great. But anyways, I connected to that one during that time. But it was terrible. Season 1 was so bad. So bad, but so good. So yeah, now they have 3 seasons out, which is kind of crazy. And so we started watching that, but he was not super into it. Yeah, the next Trainwreck on Netflix comes out. Those are just like hour-long documentaries. Last week was The Poop Cruise. Tonight's is American Apparel is what it is. Which I remember like seeing some of those stores, but we never went into them as kids. So that will be interesting. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We were just it was a chill week. We went to dinner with some friends and went to the mall because we're going to AGM, my husband's annual general meeting, I think is what they call it. But that is in about a week and a half now. Actually, about a week and 2 days. We go next week. And so that will be fun. But this was kind of we went to the mall and picked out just a fun top for him. We found some shoes and then ordered them because they didn't have my size, of course. And like, we haven't done anything fun like that for ourselves for a really long time. So it was good just to get out and to like, have a set amount that we could spend and just go have fun with it. So that's always fun. My husband knows I love just at least wandering malls, and I love wandering malls. Usually I will buy something, but I've been really good about not doing that. Okay, I guess we can move on to pregnancy stuff. Yeah, this week I now have quite a bit of a bump. You obviously can't see it because my stomach's not showing. But even like today especially, and yesterday I noticed at work, but bending down is starting to be like uncomfortable. Which is pretty big because I like will bend down, and my job requires me to be very not flexible in a sense of like I can reach my leg all the way up to my face, but flexible in like I have to move around a lot and be in weird positions sometimes to see certain parts that I'm cutting of a dog and, X, Y, and Z. So that is kind of a not fun part right now because I'm having to kind of relearn and readjust some of my techniques and stances. And there they go down the stairs. So yeah, that hasn't been very fun. Other pregnancy symptoms, my belly has started to like kind of itch on occasion. Usually it's after a shower. But that's a sign that your skin is starting to stretch, which no duh, my belly's getting bigger. So just putting lotion on that has helped. quite a bit. I don't need it every night, but when I feel it, I do. I also finally found my silicone ring here. Right there, this blue one. I have 2 others. It came in a set of 3. I can't find the other ones for the life of me, so I don't know where they're at. But I dug that out because I've noticed my fingers at certain times of the day, they've started to get fatter. It could be both the heat and also because I am pregnant, and that's the thing that's supposed to start happening. So it like makes me really sad to think that I'll have to take my ring off for a couple months. Because I don't think I haven't worn it since we got married, actually. It's he got me one that it's not a real diamond, it's a Heinecker diamond, or salt and pepper diamond, so it's technically a crystal, but it's really like sturdy and withstands basically everything, so I just never take it off. Haven't needed to like get it polished or anything because it's held up really, really well for 3 years now. But it's sad to think that I'm gonna have to like take it off because my finger is gonna swell and I don't want to have to like cut it off because I'm losing circulation, because that would be even worse. Oh, BB found her frisbee. Did you find your frisbee? Yeah. She started to learn how to play catch with a frisbee. Can you leave it? No, leave it. BB. For the longest time, she couldn't figure a frisbee out, and then all of her tennis balls got stuck underneath the bed and the couch and the console, and she gave up trying to beg us for them and figured out how to play with the frisbee. So that was fun. But yeah, anyway, so finger swelling. Some of the shoes that we did get this weekend were ones I had been thinking of. So also my feet are supposed to swell apparently by either half a shoe size or a full shoe size, and they might not go back. Luckily, most of my shoes kind of fit within that range. But also thinking about bending down and bending over to put shoes on or to tie shoes is not fun, especially during the winter. Because I will be pregnant for part of the fall when it starts to get cold. But anyways, and so I was like, I want to get some warmer slip-on boots, like UGG type things. So we've been waiting for a sale. I found some on super clearance in my size, and they were the ones I wanted. So that was great. We snagged those. And then a new pair of Birkenstocks. I wanted the clog ones because I have been using, so I got like 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, with my stimulus check way back when those were a thing. Part of it went towards getting some new Birkenstocks because they had just released their vegan ones. And I totally forgot the size I was supposed to get, and I ordered them online because they didn't sell them in store yet. And so I looked up like what size I was technically. And I think too, you can, on their website now, you can hit a US size and pick your US women's size. So they sent me 39s. And I have learned I am not a 39. I am a 37, 38, depending on which one it is. So we went, and like last year I got a couple new pairs for vacations that actually like fit really well, and those were 38s. And then this year I got the clog ones replaced, and those I got in 37s actually, just because I wanted them a little snugger. But they're super cute. I'm really excited for them to come in the mail soon. But those were the 2 that I wanted for pregnancy. Just easy slip on and slip off shoes. And then they'll be good like through the winter or through the fall or whatever. And so that's great. Yes, that was really all that. The rest is, I almost made it through today without throwing up, and then right before I sat down to film this, my stomach threw up, and it was food, so that was not fun. I'd much rather throw up just acid and bile first thing in the morning than actually food and other liquids. So that really sucked, but it is what it is. Oh, the best part though is this week, I can't believe I almost forgot this. It was last Thursday. I finally actually felt little Celeste move. And I was just laying in bed. I had actually gotten my knitting out. And was just starting to knit. And then I was like, what is that? I'm like, what is that feeling? Because before I had thought that it was like, because I'd get like kind of like, it wasn't like pains, I would say, but it was like aches, I guess. But it was like quick aches in my stomach. And that's what I thought her kicking was since week 16, really. And like I would just get them sporadically. So I'm like, okay, that's probably what it is. But no, that's not what it is at all. Baby kicks at the beginning are not painful. And despite what everybody online said, this is what I thought, because they said it felt like digestion, or that's like kind of what it feels like. But to me, a lot of times my digestion can become painful. And so I'm like, well, that's probably what it is to me. It's not. It feels like when a part of your muscle, not when it's like tingly, but when like it kind of feels like it's like rippling almost. The best way people describe it is it feels like, it doesn't feel like, okay, so not when you're like excited or nervous and there's butterflies in your stomach, not that. It feels like wings flapping or like your stomach's flapping. To me, it's in my lower kind of like pelvis area. It's right above where my pelvis is. That's where she's sitting right now. She is supposed to be moving higher as she's getting bigger, but that's just where she is right now. And yeah, I've been feeling it more and more as time has gone on. But yeah, it just kind of feels like a little bit of fluttering here and there, or I forgot what somebody else described it as, but it was very good. But yeah, she kicks, she tumbles, I don't know, uses my uterus as a punching bag. But luckily right now it doesn't hurt because she's still really small. She's about the size of, a banana, I think most people say, at least lengthwise. About 10, no, she's more than that. That was last week. I think she's almost a pound, I think, now. Which is kind of crazy to think about because they go from like being under a pound for over half your pregnancy, and then all of a sudden they're like gaining half a pound a week for a good portion of your pregnancy, or for I guess the second half. But kind of weird to think about. She's still under a pound and we're over halfway through. But yeah, very happy to know that, like, and don't get me wrong, it's weird. Like, it can be really weird, and that's the thing that a lot of people don't talk about, is everyone talks about how excited they are when they feel the baby move, which, don't get me wrong, I'm always excited when I feel her move, and it makes me, like, feel, like, reassured and okay that everything's okay down there, and she's still okay, she's still alive, and she's moving, and yes, there is an actual baby in my stomach. Hopefully not an alien, but I guess we'll see tomorrow. But yeah, but it's also like kind of weird when, because all before yesterday, it would happen just when I was sitting down. It's like Sunday was the first time I felt it when I wasn't at home. I guess that's not true. It was Saturday when we were at the restaurant. She kicked like twice. But Sunday during church, she was moving quite a bit. So that was kind of weird. But then the weirdest was yesterday at work. I was like grooming dogs and still moving. And most people say that, especially at the beginning when you're moving, the baby won't be moving because it kind of like rocks them to sleep in a weird way. But I guess she got tired of waiting for me to sit down because, I mean, an 8-hour work shift is quite a long time to stay still. And so she was like kicking and punching and rolling all throughout my work day, which, like, again, very sweet and like awesome to know, hey, you're still there, you're hanging in there with me. But also just weird to be like, yeah, I have to like go about my day and I'm growing a human. Like, I'm doing a superhuman act right now. And I still have to be like a normal human and just go about my daily life. But yeah, so that's been a fun thing. Yesterday, she was incredibly active. So active, I called my mom and I was like, Mom, is this normal? like I hear that like they're not that active at first, but it might just be that I'm getting better at like feeling her and like knowing when she's kicking. and my body's getting used to it. My mom said probably normal. Excuse me. But if I were to keep up, just to let my doctor know. And today she's been more normal, I guess I'd say, more quiet. Still moving here and there, but not quite as much. So, yeah, but that was a good little time. You don't have to do kick counts until I think week 28, so we still are about a month and a half away from doing that. And now we are only 3 weeks away from viability in case she were to come early, so we are, you know, kind of counting down the days till we get there. For those of you that don't know, anytime before 20 weeks, if you are to give birth or something were to happen to baby, that's a miscarriage. So you can technically have a miscarriage all the way up to 20 weeks. After 20 weeks, it is known as a preterm birth, but most NICUs and hospitals will not accept babies that are earlier than 24 weeks. And so the 24, after you reach kind of that 12, 13 week goal in your first trimester where your rate of having a miscarriage decreases by like, you know, leaps and bounds, and you're like, I'm in the clear. The next big milestone is 24 weeks. So it's kind of funny, you wait 12 weeks and you have to wait another 12 weeks. But we're almost there. We're less than a month away, and so we're very excited for that. Nothing like says that she or that I have like the risk of giving a preterm birth or going into preterm labor as of now. But it's always something that you just think about. I think especially when you get to this stage and you're like trying to, especially me, because I'm kind of a planner when it comes to stuff like this, and it's hard not to be able to plan exactly when her birth will be, because she could come really at any time. But so far so good, and so fingers crossed she makes it pretty far. Another interesting thing about, because I've just been reading a lot about preterm birth, just so that we're prepared in case that were to happen, because again, it's not something a lot of people talk about. But if you are, and this correlates with something that was on, what was it? It was like a YouTube video I was watching. I don't remember if it was Unexpected or not. No, sorry, it was a Swoop documentary. By Swoop, we love her. It was on her Swoop 2 channel, so it wasn't a full documentary. It was just a dip into the cesspool. But there was this mom with her newborn in the NICU, and she would unplug the like oxygen machine and plug it back in, so that would beep and the nurse would come in, and then she'd be, hey, I'm hungry, get me a sandwich, when really there was no need at all, and she's like putting her baby at risk. Anyways, she said something along the lines of, oh yeah, like I gave birth at 34 weeks, my doctor's trying to push it to 36 weeks, but I didn't know why I needed to do that. Why not just have her right now? Like a week isn't gonna make a difference. When really, when your baby is that tiny and is still like growing at that rate, like 1 to 2 weeks can like mean life or death for that baby. So really interesting. If you are in that like gray area of like, hey, I like my doctors say that I'm probably gonna give preterm birth, and like I don't know if I can keep it much longer, at least inside me, just try your very best for the baby to make it another week or two, because it will mean that your baby has that much more of a chance of surviving and being a super healthy baby. Luckily though, most NICUs are very good at now getting babies, you know, off of oxygen monitors and helpers and breathing machines, and all that by the time they go home. There are very few babies now that like have to stay on that. So very cool that that technology is where it's at. But yeah, the time is, I won't say fast approaching, but soon approaching that little baby will be here. But yeah, tomorrow is our, I forgot the name, ultrasound, that's what it is. And then next week, we probably won't have a video because it is our echocardiogram, our fetal echocardiogram. I already got my echo. But we're doing one on little baby to make sure that she doesn't have a hole in her heart, or at least that it doesn't look like it right now. Obviously, it doesn't guarantee that she won't. But it's really cool that they can already see that even though she's so tiny. So we're very excited for that. Luckily, my cardiologist, Dr. Lindsay, said he doesn't think she'll have one, but we still want to get it just in case. That way we're prepared and we can start lining up doctors. I'll give good old Dr. Cowley, that was my pediatric cardiologist, a call if we need it, to get her kind of set up and figure out like the timeline for all that. But so next week there probably won't be a video. Also, it's like the day before we leave for AGM. So we'll be packing and kind of finishing those last minute items up. But yeah, until next time, stay safe out there. Enjoy this lovely summer heat. It is so hot over here, but we are loving it. It's nice to like have the sun all the time. And for it to be light like all the way until like 10 o'clock at night. I love that. But yeah, stay safe out there, and we will see you in probably 2 weeks. We shall see. Bye-bye.